Ikram Aliskerov fought Khamzat Chimaev in the past, and Khamzat beat him. Ikram was asked if he'd fight Khamzat again. He says, of course, if they offer me a title fight, I'd be ready in 2 days. I guess Khamzat doesn't like that, and he says that why do people give interviews to these idiots when I'm saying I'm going to fight someone from Dagestan? It's an inter-ethnic issue, but when they say they're going to fight me, it's sports. Stop being hypocrites. Bo Nickel takes on Rodolfo Vieira next month. President Trump is a fan of Bo Nickel. He wants him on that White House card in June.
I'm planning on being on that card. No, that's history. That's exciting. That's something that I feel like I would just be absolutely ecstatic and grateful to be a part of. So, I got to take care of business. And I've talked with President Trump. He wants me on the card. So I'm sure that if things line up, we'll make it happen.
You're actually talking to the president about your involvement on this card. Is he reaching out to you saying, hey, is he matchmaking the card? How's that going?
No, so what ended up happening, I was on Fox promoting the RAF event, and he's, obviously watches that. I was on Fox and Friends, and he called me up and, sent me some encouragement, and we talked about the card for a second, but I told him that, I want to get on it, and he said, done deal. So I'm sure, him and Dana are obviously very close. He puts a good word in with on my behalf, and it's probably putting me in a good position.
So you're on Fox, and he's just watching and casually just calls you up. You didn't hit him up first.
Yeah.
I guess that, like friends call each other up. I guess it's not that big a deal anymore.
Right.
Is he coming to the fight on November 15th at MSG?
We'll see.
Okay.
He loves the fights, and he loves the environment, and the UFC loves him. So we'll see.
Luke Thomas and Mighty Mouse disagree about stalling in MMA. Luke Thomas thinks stalling in MMA is bad and a problem. He references the fight with DDP and Khamzat Chimaev, where Khamzat controlled DDP on the ground most of the fight. If they can't get out of that, then that's on them. I agree with DJ here. Bro wants to watch kickboxing with MMA gloves on, so fighters seem to agree with DJ. I lost my last fight to a guy taking my back, just riding out a body triangle for 3 rounds, 0 intent to do damage or finish the fight. It's on me to 1, not get my back taken, and 2, escape from that position. That being said, if anyone's saying they enjoy watching a fight with 0 intent to do damage for 15, 25 minutes is lying or just doesn't actually enjoy watching fighting. If someone can't get up, that's not a rules problem, that's a skills problem. Doesn't always make for a fan-friendly viewing, but that's how it is. Stalling and guard different, but mount or back control, it's on the person defending to get up. If you're competing, you know how hard it is to get a dominant position. Referees shouldn't just take that away because it's not viewed as fan-friendly. DJ's correct. Murad Navalis really hasn't had the nicest things to say about Umar Nurmagomedov, but Umar gives him props and says, even if he loses to Piotr Yan, he deserves to be Fighter of the Year. Nobody did this 4 times in 1 year. Nobody with the belt. He deserves this. It's amazing. He'll be in history. I think if he loses, I don't know if he should be Fighter of the Year, but if he wins, definitely. Brendan Allen says he was surprised that RDR quit on the stool, but he was basically a lifeless corpse in the last couple rounds, so in that sense, it wasn't surprising at all.
My first reaction was a surprise, to be honest, just because, I don't know, I never pictured someone to quit on the stool, so that was surprising a little bit to actually see it in person. But the second thing was, I told you, I told everyone, so those are kind of the 2 things that crossed in that moment. I don't think it has anything to do with his corner. He quit. They asked him questions. He said yes and no, that he was hurt, that he was messed up, that he didn't want to continue, and they threw the towel, whatever. So I don't think it has any. That's what a proper corner that cares about you should do. They asked him the questions. He answered the questions. Based on his answers, he was done. That's simple for me.
Brendan Allen is now ranked number 5 in the division, which is impressive turnaround because earlier this year wasn't looking too good for him. Lost 2 in a row, but now he's managed to turn things around in the second half of this year. LOL, Brendan Allen in the top 5 in the middleweight division tells you all you need to know about how weak that division is. UFC is not consistently selling out these arenas lately. UFC Vancouver was far from a sellout. UFC Rio also looked to have many empty seats. Damn, I made it to the video and I misspelled Marab.
Say it how you read it. Marab Tvalishvili. If you don't know, now you know. See you on February 17th.
John Pork, still wearing his Contender Series shirt. Who doesn't want to take that off after winning on that show and getting a UFC contract? Nathaniel was taking on Jose Delgado this weekend. That's a good fight in the featherweight division. Delgado is a hell of a knockout artist. 5 wins in a row by KO. 2 in the UFC, very quick ones in the first round. So Wood will be a good test for him. He's a solid fighter, so we'll see how good Delgado is.
That longevity that he's had in the UFC is impressive, and he's arguably 6-0 at featherweight. He's got a controversial loss, but he's done very well for himself at featherweight. I think people look at him as undersized, but I think he makes up for it with just his grit, his determination, and then he's got a superb skill set. I think very highly of Nathaniel Wood. I always have. To beat him, you got to be good, and I think I'm damn good, and then some. So I love challenge. I love adversity. Nathaniel Wood's a hell of a challenge, a hell of adversity. I'm ready for it. It takes me out of the box of fun prospect and cements me as a real problem for the division. This is what I truly want. Like, I want people to know, like, I'm here to fight the best in the world. I'm here to beat the best in the world. I'm here to be the best in the world, and I want to showcase that. And you have to be that to be a guy like Nathaniel Wood. He's a very skilled guy. I'm going to find that chin, man. I just am. I'm going to find that chin. I'm going to put him away. It's very simple.
Yair Rodriguez gets hand surgery. He'll be out 2 to 4 months before he can train again. He's coming off a win over Patricio Pitbull and Pitbull's UFC debut. Artem Vaitov competing in this Glory 4-man tournament. December 14th, Vaitov won on the Contender Series and earned a UFC contract, but he declined to sign the deal due to what he described as unfair and restrictive contract terms. UFC only offered him the standard Contender Series contract, $10,000 to show, $10,000 to win. Couldn't be negotiated or improved. He and his team felt that the proposed pay didn't reflect his experience or market value as a striker, decorated striker. Vaitov expressed disappointment that the UFC was unwilling to negotiate. They said, we can't offer more than the standard Contender Series deal. Instead of accepting the offer, he chose to explore other options and return to Glory Kickboxing. Recent criticism of Andy Foster, the executive director of the California State Athletic Commission, centers around his vocal support of the Muhammad Ali American Boxing Revival Act, which has raised concerns about potential conflicts of interest and ulterior motives. Critics, including former UFC fighters and industry insiders, have questioned Foster's alignment with TKO, the parent company of the UFC, given his commission's unanimous 6-0 vote to endorse the bill earlier this month. The act proposes a UFC-like promotional structure for boxing, which could benefit TKO's planned entry into the sport under the Zuffa Boxing brand. Detractors argue that Foster's endorsements might be influenced by a significant revenue reliance on UFC and WWE events, as well as rumors of a potential future role within TKO, despite his denials on Ariel Helwani's show of such discussions. This has led to accusations of a power grab and concerns that the bill could undermine existing fighter protections and lead to a monopoly in boxing, similar to the UFC's model in MMA. The rushed timeline for the commission's decision further fuels skepticism about Foster's intentions and the bill's true impact on the sports. One critic of Foster is Mike Pierce, former UFC welterweight. Andy Foster is a sellout scumbag who's completely abandoned his duty to look after the welfare of fighters. Instead, he's decided to be a shill for TKO. He needs to be removed. Arnold Allen in Montreal training. He says he was beat up for not speaking French. That's why he has those bruises on his face. Most people assume he's just kidding. Someone asks him, is he fighting Aljo in December? I was told a Mexican fellow, but Yair Rodriguez, with him getting hand surgery, he wouldn't be fighting him in December. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. If you want to donate, you can via Super Thanks. Until next time, thanks for watching.